All right, we're going to call this bad boy to order here at 7 o'clock on the nose. Welcome to the August 2022 meeting of the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association. Hey, the date's right. Wow, the date's right. That's how you look at it. The fact that these slides got done is I was working on these at like 9:30 last night. So I don't know what might be in some of these. Wow. Because I was like, okay, I'm done. It's been a long week so far. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to make the slides for the meeting tomorrow. So we'll do introductions. I'm Jason McCormick, NADI, club president. Throw it over to Stefan.
Stefan, vice president, November 8 Whiskey Bravo.
Not Randy.
ABA Dylan K. KEA TLV.
I'm Bob Durhammer. I'm a guest. I don't have a license yet. Thank you for having me.
You will soon.
We can help you with that.
Yes, we can.
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Everybody knows a guy.
KDA VYT and Russ, the secretary.
Did you say soccer?
J8AMX. Beautiful downtown party.
Yay!
Looking very relaxed as always.
And my wife of a lot of years.
How many? That you can't remember.
All right, we're gonna move right on past that.
It's Russ said it.
I'm Claire. I'm new. My phone number is 88VED.
Nice.
VED. All right. Welcome. Congratulations, Bob.
Yeah, I'm Bob, the round mound of sound. And our WD8, WIC, the Wiz in North, which as you know is the garden spot of Summit County.
Nice, very nice.
Aaron, AEA-LVA.
Carol, Annie, what's Diane?
Gary, LOGK, and I live in the downtown armpit of Ohio.
I've been there a couple times.
We went from the Garden State to the armpit. Go ahead, Scott.
Could be worse.
I'm Scott, NASY. I'm the ARRL Great Lakes Division Vice Director.
And officially our longest traveling person to get here. Jim, W8MPG.
Ross, W8JAX.
Wendy, KHAAX.
And Lucy's sleeping, right? Okay. All right.
Now you see why I've been home, probably laying in the bathroom.
I'm Jim, NAEAI. Dan, KE8TBY.
Chuck, K8LJ.
Ted, N8FQP.
Bill, KM8WPK. Lane, KD8JJF.
K8TQU, Lake in Doylestown.
Yeah, Brian, KF8G.
Doug, Kilo 8, Juliet, November Hotel.
And Ken, Digital Dorsey,
K-I-D.
Nice.
You're really hitting that branding now.
Hi, I'm Digital Dorsey.
All right. I know about yesterday. Any corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion second. Scott, someone. All right. All those in favor? Who wants to be the secretary? Good choice.
Who said?
All right. Upcoming announcements. We do have the family picnic coming up this Sunday, 1 to 4 at Silver Creek Metro Park. We're at the usual shelter that we always go at. It's right by the former beach area, I guess it is now, and right off the main parking lot. Very accessible.
I guess.
You don't have to trek very far, and there's a sidewalk right up to it. We are asking that if you're coming, please RSVP. If you are coming and you haven't done it and you're here and you have a phone, please go to that URL right now and punch in the button because we have enough food to feed you. Guests of members are welcome. It's just not thrown open to the public. It's for our members. Any questions about the picnic?
We-
Accommodations? Yeah, we're asking everyone to bring a side dish to share. I'll cover this in a minute, but yeah. Ohio QSO Parties coming up Saturday, August 27th, 12 to midnight. This is a great opportunity to work HF when people want to talk to you in Ohio, as opposed to, the Caribbean or Europe or some DX station. Ohio is popular on the air for this one day. So if you get a chance to operate that, that's always a fun time. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do it this year. We have some family coming in from out of town, but
What was the date on that again?
the 27th. So, but get on the air and throughout your county, and you'll get some contacts. Also coming up September 14th, we've had this on the website. CFARC, that's Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio. They did this last year, and they actually are announcing it in like more than a week in advance this time. They're doing they're calling it CFARC to the Field. It's really sort of like a Summit County Metro Parks on the Air thing. They're doing Wednesday, September 14th from 4:30 to 7:30. Basically, go to one of the Metro Parks, stick up your antenna, and they're making contacts on 10 meters, 6 meters, and 2 meters, I believe, is the frequencies they're looking to use. Maybe, I can't remember if 70 centimeters was on the list or not. There are plenty of Metro Parks. So find one and get out there. I'm going to try to get out to I'm hoping to go to Silver Creek, but
Too bad it's not this weekend.
What, Russ?
Too bad it's not this weekend.
Yeah. So there's a link on our website. CFARC has like 40 pages of information about all sorts of stuff about operating in this. So that link will take you to their website. But this should be a lot of fun. I worked a lot of the guys from home last year who were out in the park. It's a lot of fun. And there's quite a bit of Metro Parks if you look at the map. And you might be able to get the monopoly on some of the ones in the south. And there's a couple way up in Twinsburg that are up really high elevation-wise. So a lot of good opportunities there. I'll let you, since you're here, I'll let you talk about this one.
All right, it's that time again, that time of the year when we're having all of our outdoor activities as far as races and marathons and such. We just came off the Goodyear Half Marathon last Saturday. It was beautiful. The day was perfect. We couldn't have asked for a better day. Didn't have a single runner in the med tent. I think that's a first for the marathon, the half marathon. We're still waiting to see if one of our people won the blimp ride. Goodyear gave away a blimp ride for 2 people to one of the volunteers, but we don't know yet who was selected for the blimp ride. So
It's
hopefully
probably
it's one of
me.
our guys.
It's probably me.
It might be Russ. It may have been Russ. I don't know. But anyway, we do have. Pardon me.
Wow.
We'll edit that
I
out.
missed it. Okay. Moving on.
Move on.
All right. So we have 2 more events coming up still this year. We have the Portage Lakes Triathlon. This is a new event for us. It's going to be held Saturday, or it's actually Sunday, September 11th.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. Sunday, September the 11th. If you can come out and help us with that marathon, we're planning on meeting at Portage Lake State Park around 6:30 in the morning at the latest, because the marathon starts at 7:30 in the morning. But we do need some volunteers to help with that. It's going to be all radio. Some of the running event's going to be in the park. The swimming event is, of course, going to be in the lake. We won't put anybody in the lake, I promise, unless you want to do it, Russ.
I'll bring my boat.
Okay. And then there's a bike event that goes almost down to Clinton and back. So we're going to need some people to cover some of those roads where the bike event goes. So that's going to be an interesting one for us. I'm going to have to go out next week and check our repeater coverage because I don't even know if any of the Aries repeaters will make it into Clinton. I know I'm almost certain for a fact you're not going to hit one with an HT, but hopefully a mobile will get you into our machine that's in green.
Use 3.9.
3.9?
Use 3.9.
Okay.
Because we get all the way down to 20.
Oh, you can't?
Oh, yeah,
does it?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, 3.9 down to Clinton's nothing.
Okay. Oh, really? Oh, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, I've done nets from Portage Lakes at my friend's house. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, use 3.9 for that. If you
Okay.
can't go for it.
Okay, yeah, if I can't get into our stuff, I'll definitely do that. Thank you for that. So second one, the big event that we always have every year is the Akron Marathon. That's coming up Saturday, September the 24th. This is the 20th year running of that marathon, believe it or not. And I have been a part of that marathon every year. So it's been 20 years. But we do need a lot of volunteers for that. I need about 40 radio operators because I really need somebody at every mile marker. So that right there is about 23 radio operators. I need people in med tents. I need people at water stops. I need people on the SAG vehicle, on the aid vehicles, the aid shuttles. I mean, I need a bunch of people. In fact, I even need, they're asking me, part of the race is going to be on the towpath. And they're asking me if I could have a bicycle mobile on the towpath. So anybody that wants to volunteer to be a bicycle mobile on the towpath.
That'd be awesome.
Can you do a dual POTA activation while you're doing that?
Good idea. So anyway, that is Saturday, September 24th. Please, if you can at all, help us with either of these events. The signups are open on our website. It's www.summitares.org. If you go to the home page, there's a link right there that shows the events, and it says click here to sign up for the events, and it'll take you right to the sign up page. Sign up for one, sign up for two, sign up for whichever one you want to do. If you can only do one, that'd be great too. But we really need volunteers for the marathon. That's our big event. And this is, I mean, you know, we get amateur radio out there, and this gives us a lot of visibility to the community. Because, you know, you got all these runners, they have, at the marathon, they generally have 25 to 3,000 runners at least. And I tell you, every one of the runners really appreciates us being there helping them. So if you can help the marathon especially, we really need volunteers for that one. But whatever you can do, we certainly would appreciate it.
And we're gonna make it mandatory if we don't get it.
Don't you also do a half marathon there? Or did you used to do
That
like
was
a half?
last week.
Oh, that was last week.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was last week.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to use 3.9, I'm sure that you're not going to have any problem with an HT from down Portage Lakes to the towpath. So just let me know when you send out the word that it's going to be used for med ops for the morning. We'll just put it out there.
Fantastic. All right, thank you very much. And again, the marathon or the triathlon is Sunday, September 11th.
Cool.
Saturday. Thank you very much.
All right. Any other announcements for the club? All right. Treasurer's report. Jeff is traveling for work this week, so I'm going to give that. Not a lot of activity this week. As a matter of fact, we only took in some money last month for the 50/50 raffle and had three dues paid into the club this month. Ending balance is currently $69.12. As we have the $3,000 set aside for emergency repeater replacement, and then we have just shy of $4,000 in the general allocation. We're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. Any questions on the treasurer's report? All right, Bob. Wait, what? Did you say auditing? Oh,
Unaudited.
We don't.
Wait, what? All right, second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
We
Who
know
wants to
that.
be the treasurer?
What?
We know that game.
Yeah.
Where's your day?
You reject the report, you become a treasurer. All right. Executive committee, we met on just this past Sunday, September 14th. We talked a lot about the August 14th.
See, the date was wrong somewhere. It's
Yeah.
just not.
Yeah.
He did warn us though, so it's okay.
The presidency is going to be available next March.
Order for whoever does a smart comment.
We met on August 14th, just this past Sunday. We spent a lot of time finalizing plans and expenses for the picnic. We're going to have a very neat thing at the picnic as part of the formal presentation, so a little more reason to show up there. We talked quite extensively about the committee structures. If you remember, last year we set up some committees. I'm going to talk about the operating committee here in a minute. Education committee, we decided we're going to put on a temporary hold for now until we kind of figure out exactly how we want the committees to operate. And we also talked about investments in the club. Now, I'm going to come back to the operating committee on the next slide, but we also talked about investments in the club. Specifically, we in the last couple of years we've had a really good increase in our membership, which brings in dues, and to the point where we're sitting on a fairly substantial amount of cash above where we want it to be in terms of the repeater, like sort of our emergency cash holdings. So we are talking as a leadership group about how we invest that money back into the club. If you've been around for a couple of years, we've been buying a lot of equipment to do field day. We have a really nice field day set up now with filters and a new push-up mast and all kind of stuff. We've kind of maxed out what we would really want to invest in field day. So we're looking at some other things that we can invest that in. We are interested in, if people have ideas on something for the club, to please contact me or one of the officers or one of the trustees, because as a larger organization, we're trying to figure out, how do we do more for the membership, right? I mean, we went from a club that 6-8 years ago was about 20 to 30 people. We have 125-ish people now. So then that goes into the committee part as well. We're trying to figure out how do we marshal the resources we have in the club, both the money and the people, to do things for the club. And since we have funding for some of these things, this is an opportunity to think about how we use that. So we're talking about that. A couple of the things we are going to be doing. We are going to do some recabling of the repeater. We have some cables that have been on there for a long time. They've been through many winters and many summers, and they'll have some adapters. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go and have a set of custom-built, correct length, correct end cables built for all of the UHF machine and a couple of the cables on the 2-meter machine. John Wagner, NACD, has made a couple for us that are like the correct length, correct ends. But what we decided to do is, one of the things we're going to do is go out and get the correct length, custom length cut cables, so we don't have any slack. If you're familiar, especially with UHF, that power loss is fast if you're inside of, if you're even in a short jumper cable. We're going to get them all redone as probably RG213 cable. We're going to get them cut to the exact length so that they're the right length and no more than the length they need to be. And we're going to get rid of all of the adapters to make sure that they're all right. So that'll help quite a bit. And that's really partially a preventative measure too, because it gets really annoying to find which cable in the repeater is the one that's causing problems. So the other thing we're going to do is we are going to be getting some better storage stuff for the club. Right now, a lot of our field day equipment is in my garage in a bunch of boxes. We're going to be getting some nice weatherproof bins with latches and stuff to put all that together. It probably will live in my garage for a while unless someone else is dying to host a whole shelf full of Sarah equipment in their garage. Anybody? No takers? We're going to do that, like the network stuff that we use at field days in a cardboard box. So we're just going to get some purpose-sized containers for all of that stuff. But again, we're still looking for some big investments. What do we want to do as a club? So that's something to be thinking about. With that, one of the things we are going to do, we set up the operating committee last year. And what we decided to do is we decided that the mandate of that was probably a little bit too broad. What we're going to do is we're going to split the field day committee back out from the operating committee and run field day like we did prior to last year. And that's not a commentary on anything about the operating committee. It's really more about the mandate that was given to that group is probably just too broad. So what we are going to do is the field day committee is going to have a formal leader. That will be a position appointed at least yearly, and hopefully the person will stick around for a couple of years. This is going to be a committee with a known funding for the event. We fund field day every year. We decided as a club we're going to start doing winter field day in January. Those are going to be two of our main events. Those are going to have funding and support. We're going to rent the hall every year. So we're going to have the field day committee focus on doing well with those two events. And then the rest of it, we're going to put under what we're tentatively calling the operating group. Specifically calling it a group, not a committee. At the moment, we're trying to decide if we want to have a formal leader or if we want it to be more informal with people who get interested in doing something rather than try to have a leader who's planning things out. Have a forum where someone who's really interested in something, like we have some people that like to do parks on the air, right? Have a venue or have a forum for those people to say, hey, let's get a group together and go operate, or I want to do a special event station, So that's where we're going to go. We haven't fully decided on that, but that's kind of the structure that we're leaning towards. Probably organized over email, or we're open to suggestions. We've tried other things like mailing lists, which seem to kind of work. We've tried Discord. We've tried lots of stuff. Nothing else is stuck. Again, we're open to suggestions. Funding is going to be evaluated on an as-requested basis. Not that there is not going to be any funding for these things, but we're not going to just say, well, we're going to fund all these events either, right? And it's not like we're going to require a huge legion of paperwork. It's like, hey, can I get $100 to buy something to do some parks on the air for the club? We're probably not going to turn you down. But examples of this would be if we get people organized, we'll have a Qso Party, special event station, parks on the air, things like that. So that's kind of where we see this going. The field day committee, like I said, is definite. We're definitely doing that part of it. The operating group, that's where we think we're going with it, but the executive committee hasn't formalized that yet. And we're always interested in membership input on that as well. Any questions on that? All right. Technical committee, we did have that big power failure out at Doylestown last month. The week after that happened, I built a power monitor and then have completely not installed it for the last month. It's going to plug into a little USB wall charger, and it's going to send it'll pull the SCOM has these IO ports. It's going to pull one of them low, power goes out, pin floats, and the repeater's going to tell you that it had a power failure like once every 15 minutes or something. That will be installed during when we do repeater maintenance. So there's not a date set for this yet, but we do need to retune the audio on 147.39. As I've mentioned before, if you have a really good speaker and really good hearing, you can hear some buzzing and hissing in the background, and it drives me insane. So we're going to take another stab at getting rid of the noise on that. And then I mentioned we're also going to purchase the new interconnection cables. I'll get all of those custom made. So why are you guys laughing at me now? Do I have another wrong day?
No, you said drives you insane, and we said you could walk you insane.
Crawl. Yeah.
Already there.
Wonder why. Any questions on the technical committee stuff? We even have battery power if there's no power at Doylestown for the triathlon. So we're all set. All right. We've talked about this briefly, family picnic. Russ, were you going to talk about this? You want me to talk about this? Gary threw you under the bus in a photo.
I know he did. He was supposed to send me stuff, so I knew what to talk about.
I knew we covered that. He sent it to me.
Yeah, I'll
too.
cover it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, as usual, we are providing the main course as a club. This year, we're doing hamburgers, hot dogs, and sloppy joes. The club will also provide water bottles. And we're going to have iced tea, I guess. That was a late breaking thing Gary told me about. And we'll have the placeware. What we're asking for members is please bring a side dish to share. And if you can decide in advance what you're making, please tell Gary. Because he's trying to.
I think there was a place on the website now where he told me there was, where you can write down what you're bringing.
But change that.
I checked it, I didn't see it.
I was going to say, I don't think I put that on the
You can
form.
RSVP, but I didn't see anything.
I know I got enough stuff to bring.
So, but we are asking you to bring a side dish to share. We don't need huge dishes because every year we feel bad that we throw out a bunch of food because everyone brings enough food for 50 people. Your dish does not have to feed 50 people because we have lots of food. If you wanted additional beverages besides water and iced tea, you're welcome to. You want to bring those yourselves. Just as a reminder, there's no alcohol in Summit County Metro Parks.
That's the rule.
That is the rule. Any questions on the picnic? Gary also asked me to mention that he's planning on starting up the apparel sale by the end of the month.
He asked me to do that too.
Are you gonna have it in adult sizes?
Usually there is.
We are good.
Okay, I just checked.
So,
It's real large.
Yeah, people don't understand.
Stick it on your head, huh?
we are going to have some door prizes at the picnic. I forgot this slide was in there. The big prize we're going to be giving away. This is all free. This is everyone who
Brand
has a ticket. Brand new Qso FT65R radio. We're going to give away an ARL handbook. We're going to give away 2 general class license manuals and 3 of the nifty HF laminated.
Nifty cards.
Yeah, they're the lifty cards.
HF, VHF, UHF band plans.
So there'll be 3 of those, and then I think Russ has some other giveaways.
Oh yeah, I probably have enough stuff. Everybody can get 2 items.
Are they giveaway or is it a drawing?
It's a drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have to buy a ticket for it.
Yeah, there's no buying of the tickets. Every attendee gets 1 ticket. We'll give away these prizes first, and then put all the tickets back in the.
That's why I came late tonight.
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all the tickets in, and all the things are gonna be out there. And when your number's called, you go pick a prize.
All right. Anything else? Any other new business for the club? Going once, going twice. All right. That was a quick meeting.
Yes, it was.
Next meeting Thursday, September 15th, at 7 p.m. Obviously, 5:45. We did a good job tonight. I put this in the email just as a reminder. If you are coming for dinner, try to get here right at 5:45 so that they can get their dinner service in and done before the meeting started. The last couple of weeks, months, we've had people kind of trickling in at like 6:30 and ordering dinner. So, we'll be right here. Ken is going to be talking about Handshake Hotline for real this time.
Take 2.
Take 2. I won't be standing up here extemporaneously giving presentations on telephone numbers. So next meeting is September 15th. And with that, throw it over to Mr. 50/50.
Everybody turn in their tickets. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Everybody got them in?
Mine are all zeros.
You lose. All right.
Everyone.
How much money tonight?
I collected 90, so it's 45 and 45.
I can retire.
Yeah.
Okay. The number is 0000 4 One.
41.
There he is.
Bill.
Bill.
Draw
Every
again.
other 40.
Bill always gets it.
I'm drawing again.
I'm kidding. See that? You don't even get it. It's just like he gives it. Oh, can I?
Oh,
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn the business meeting. Who's that? Bob, thanks. Second?
I'll second.
Steve, or Scott? Yes, I called him I called Ron Randy earlier. I don't know what's going on. All those in favor of adjourning? Anybody want to keep meeting?
Yes, I'm gonna keep meeting.
Keep meeting. With that, I'm gonna introduce.
one more announcement. The 50 feet on the picnic, I'm keeping the second half to help pay for a bunch of the stuff I purchased.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It won't pay for it all, but
Well, we can reimburse you.
no,
Yeah, we
I ain't
can
gonna
reimburse you.
reimburse all that. I always add something in there.
All right.
I'll think about it.
All right. All right, well, let me introduce Scott Yonley. Are you coming up?
You don't want to take a break?
No. No. This is
Wow.
a short meeting. We got through it.
No break or anything, Bill.
Hey,
Just like,
Jason, Jeff's not here. You want me to hold this or you want to take it?
I can take it if you want. Or you can, either way.
It doesn't matter.
Or you
Just
can
gotta remember.
just hang on to it.
I'll just keep it in the bucket.
here, give him your.
No, I'm live.
Give him your money.
All right. You said to take it over.
I said I'm keeping the money.
Well, if you need it, you.
Okay.
All right,
Hang on,
well, I'm
sorry.
going to introduce Scott Yonley. Scott's the Vice Director of the Great Lakes Division of the ARRL. And apparently I didn't fill out a form that he's going to make fun of me about in a few minutes. So, with that, go ahead, Scott.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jason.
Tonight, we're going to give you some overview of, first we'll start out with some statistics, and then we'll give you some overview of the board meeting that happened in July, and all the good, gory details there. I know everybody likes to hear all the gory details and all that, and we've got a few, and they also like to hear, how ham radio is growing throughout the country. So we'll start out with, right now there is 772,833 licensed hams in the United States.
Woo!
Well, it sounds like a lot, but actually it's dropped down. We've actually lost some due to COVID, and the growth of amateur radio itself is starting to back down a little bit. There for a little while, we were growing at about a 3.5% pace right during COVID. I think everybody went out and got licensed and because it gave them something to do and that kind of thing. And that was great. I'm glad they did. But
We'll get him back.
Yeah, we'll get them back eventually.
We'll get him back.
But we didn't, some of the other folks kind of passed away and that kind of thing. So we didn't grow at the pace we should have or what we were doing. But we are back to the pre-COVID, which is about 1.5%. And that's what you would like to have. You wanted a slow growth, but a progressive growth. So we're doing well. Now, 5 of the largest states of amateur radio operators, and this statistic may surprise you a little bit. Obviously, California. They have 102,706 hams. Texas comes in next with 54,557. Florida, which, is the retirement state, so obviously they're going to have a whole bunch. They have 34,729. The state of Washington, which kind of surprises me, because, being way out in the west like that, not real super heavily populated, but they come in fourth with 34,729. Florida had 43,000. Now, Ohio actually comes in fifth. Believe it or not, we're the 5th highest in population, and we have 28,036 right now. Now that kind of varies back and forth because, as people pass away and as we get new hams, hint, over there in the blue, new hams, and that number will grow. So we end up with 263,844. That actually, those 5 states make up 34% of all the hams in the country. Isn't that fascinating? Just 5 states make up over 1/3 of all the hams. And Ohio is right in there with them. Right now, we have 158,119 for ARRL members. Now I'm going to ask you, how many ARRL members do we have here tonight? Okay, great. How many life members do we have?
I'm working toward it.
There's 1, 2, any more? Okay, there's 2 of us. Not bad, not bad.
I'm working toward it.
You're working toward it, okay?
I'm
good.
doing the 50 a month.
Good. The life membership, yes, it sounds a little costly, and for the elderly folks in this room tonight, probably not the best bargain in the world.
Isn't it less money? Isn't it less money after?
The actuaries say a male in the United States lasts till 79, okay? That's the actuaries. I don't make those figures. That's what they tell me.
Isn't it a certain age it's less money?
Yes, I was just going to bring that up. At 70, you can get a reduced rate. It's $750. So, and that takes you for the life membership, which, you know. Now, I'm going to tell you something about the life membership that you may not know. If your spouse is a ham, that life membership, if you pass away, can transfer to her or him, as the case may be. Okay. So it is a life membership. It does go on. I know my wife will get mine because I'm obviously going to pass away before she does. Even though I'm younger than she is.
Yeah, but you don't straighten up.
Yeah. So now I'm going to dig into something that I don't think has been discussed in many meetings, and I'm not sure if you know how the ARRL is actually structured. So there's actually 15 divisions within the ARRL itself. And they're what represents you at these board meetings. Each one has a director and a vice director. And these are 2 elected officials. We are elected every 3 years. Our term, Dale and I, WAEFK is your director, I'm the vice director, and our terms will be up next year, at the end of next year. So we would expect and hope that we get your support, and we hope you think we've done a good job. So now, the Great Lakes Division, it's the 7th largest division out of the 15, so we're about mid-range. So, and we have just freckle under 12,000 ARRL members within the 3 states. What are the states that we represent? We represent Michigan, all of Ohio, and all of Kentucky. Why Kentucky and not West Virginia, who's an 8th call sign? I don't know. And I can't find anybody that can tell me why, but that is the way it got divided for some oddball reason. You would think logically they would come it all in the 8th call district, but no, they decided to throw a 4-land in there, which is okay. We'll take that, not a problem. So now here in Ohio, your section manager, and he's your senior elected official for Ohio, representing you as well. He's also elected. He's elected for a 2-year term. His name's Tom Sly, WBA LCD. And for those of you who are ARRL members, you're probably already getting his newsletter every week. He decided after I moved on from the section manager post to vice director, he decided to continue on with, which I'm very, very pleased. That's great. I'm tickled. And it keeps you informed of what's going on, not only in your own local clubs, because he does a lot of club stuff, but it also keeps you informed what's going on in the section as well, as a whole. Now, we do have a little gentleman, John Levo, W8KIW, who does the South 40. And he actually reports on what's going on also in Kentucky, West Virginia, and the southern and eastern portion of Pennsylvania as well. So he does a pretty good job of that. So it keeps you informed of what's going on all the way around out on the southern part, which you guys never really hear about up here much. So for those of you who didn't hear, there was a major flood down in Kentucky just recently. It affected something in a neighborhood of 150,000 people. It killed 37. So I do want to let you know that ham radio was very active down there. Ohio was put on standby as well as Virginia. The two states were put on standby, but we could have been easily called to go down and help out. So I did want to let you know about that. Like I say, Tom is WB at LCD. Les Butler, W8MSP, is the Michigan section manager. And currently in Kentucky, we don't have a section manager. We're doing some research, and that's one of the reasons why I was late coming to this meeting tonight. We're doing some Zoom calls and seeing if we can't get a section manager in place for down there right now. So the one that we had got tired and decided he needed to retire, so, which is fine. That's okay. Now that you know some of the statistics and so what makes up all of this, I'm going to tell you that Ohio is the largest of all the sections. There's 71 of them throughout the country, and Ohio is actually the largest of all 71. We're actually larger than even two divisions, which is the Dakota Division and the Hudson Division. And we only need really 730 more to be even larger than the Midwest Division. So keep it growing, folks. If you're not an ARRL member, I encourage you to become one. Why? Because ARRL is the only advocate you have to keep your frequencies. And yes, they're coming after them. There's no stopping that. So now in affiliated clubs, currently we have 2,643 active affiliated clubs around the country. Now I say active because once you become affiliated with the ARRL as a club, you never become unaffiliated. You're always affiliated. You just may be put on the inactive list if you haven't renewed your annual, I don't want to say this, your annual checkup, if you will. We asked every club to check in once a year and update their records so we know who to contact when we want to come to a meeting, for example, or anything about your club, or somebody out in the outside world, a new person, not a ham, may ask about your club, and we want to be able to give them the most updated information we can. So we asked every club to renew their membership of being affiliated once a year. Now, for those clubs out there that are special service clubs, and yes, there are many of them. Now, the Special Service Club was actually born right here in Ohio. I will tell you that, flat out. Way back in the mid-1980s, our affiliated clubs coordinator back then, her name was Joanne Solak. You guys may recognize that name. She's from this area up here, actually in Portage County. Her call is KJ30, and she's still active. There are still participants in many of the activities around. Her husband also was very active. He was the section emergency coordinator for many years here in Ohio as well. But she came up with this idea at that time. There was no special service club. She came up with the idea that for those clubs who were actually going above and beyond what a normal club would do, she wanted to recognize them. So she came up with a plan and she submitted that to the ARRL. They liked it so well, they initiated it and created the Special Service Club Award. This club is a special service club. Now, what Jason was talking about is that comes due every 2 years. So people tend to forget to get that renewed. And as odd as this may sound, your annual club affiliation renewal has its own renewal date. And your Special Services Club renewal has its own renewal date. Well, we've recognized this problem because it has been a problem for some years. This club fell into the same boat as many clubs have done over the years. So what we're instituting right now, in fact, when you go in to renew, what's probably going to come back to you is a date, not 2 years. Because we decided this is confusing. Everybody's confused. Nobody knows exactly when anything. So we're going to make it very simple for all clubs to renew and know when to renew. We're going to make everything come due on December 31st. So January 1st will be your renewal date, not only for your affiliation, but also for your Special Service Club. We're combining them together. Now, it's a little on the tricky side. We can easily do that with the affiliate clubs because it's annual. So we can make it happen for next year, for example. But when you have a renewal date of 2 years, it becomes a little more difficult. So what we've already started initiating on the renewals that we've started from just a couple of weeks ago is we put the renewal date actually coming due December 31st of 2023. Okay, so you won't get a full 2-year renewal. You'll only get about a year and a half. But what that's going to do is that's going to align everything back to the way it should be so that everything comes due all at one time. And the league can send out their reminders to you and to everybody at one time so they all come due. And all of the clubs throughout the country will come due at the same time. Yes, sir.
I was getting ready to join right now,
Great.
so that would that.
No, that's not your personal membership. This is for clubs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for clubs. Your personal membership, it will come due at its anniversary date. So if you apply today, it would be 1 year from today. So, and that won't change. But the club renewals are what, I mean, most people remember that date, but the club renewals becomes confusing. So we decided, let's take the confusion out of it. One of the things that a brand new committee that was formed, this is the 4th committee of ARRL, and it's called gave it the acronym of ECFSC. Okay, it sounds terribly long, but it's the Emergency Communications and Field Services Committee. Dale chairs that committee. I am the recording secretary for that committee. So we have been very active in getting a lot of things started and put in place, and you're going to see that is just one of those things. Club commission. Do you guys do the club commission? Ah, shame on you. We changed it too.
Did you get rid of that form?
No, the form we kept, but the whole process has changed, and now it's not $2 you get to keep, it's $5. And $15 for any new member. So we wanted to make it attractive enough for you to really want to do that. Now, the way we changed the form is you just put everybody's name that you get as a new member or as a regular renewing member. You put that on the form, you send the form and the money in, and within 2 weeks, they send the club, whoever's the treasurer of the club, whoever you assign as to receive it, they will get that rebate back. That's part of the club commission. To encourage clubs to bring in ARRL members, we pay the club $5 for every renewal that they get. We pay the club $15 for every brand new member they get. So it's a well-versed program that actually does good for the club because it generates money for you. And since it goes right back to the club as a check, you put it in your account and away you go. Sort of like that Amazon Smiles thing. Okay, it's money back. So it's a great little program to have. Now, we have 103 currently active special services clubs in the country. 16 of them are here in Ohio. Okay, that's something to be really proud of. That's 15% of all the special services club right here in Ohio. Since it was born here, I would expect to see that too. Now, we'll have 17 when you that's why I said I'm going to pick on you a little bit. We'll have 17 when that happens. So just to give everybody, that. And what we are also working on is, everybody asks, well, what's the difference between a special service club and a regular club? Well, you actually have to fill out a whole series of questionnaires on all the different activities that you do that make you special. But in the years past, we've never given a special service club any kind of benefit for becoming one, other than the fact they have a little, I think you guys still have the little flag, right, that we gave you years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, we gave them a little flag that says, hey, you're a special service club, and you can fly that at all your meetings and everything else. We're going to change that program. We're working on that now to have some rewards for those who become a special service club. And they will be really beneficial to the club and the club members. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what they are we're working on, because until we do it, I don't want to promise anybody things we can't keep. So, But it will be worth it. I mean, the $5 is already worth it. We told the folks $5 is nothing that they can't afford up at headquarters. And we also said $2 doesn't cut it. Nobody wants to mess with it for $2. Why make it just, so we added the 5, which is a good thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Got a question?
I did, you answered it, I believe.
Oh.
What makes this a special service call?
All of the different activities that you do. Well, Jason,
Doesn't everyone do?
tell them what all activities. Field day for one.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into that form. I mean, we do the operating stuff. We're getting back into build projects. We have Stefan has a huge VE team. I mean, we're doing 6 license exams a year now, and we have, how many VEs do we have, like 17 or 18 or?
Quite a few, and then we also have some Wayne County members that are part of the club too, and we do 2 Wayne sessions a year now. This will be our 2nd year coming up in 2023.
Yeah, we do a lot of articles and, just a lot of stuff to help. I mean, we have
Your club participates in the Ohio VHF contest.
yeah, we do
That
that.
goes above and beyond what most of them do.
And we
So,
started, you probably didn't know this, we started a group called Hams Helping Hams.
Yep,
They actually
Hams Helping Hams.
do, help set up antennas and stuff for people.
Exactly. That's what makes you different than just an affiliated club. What does it take to be an affiliated club? It takes a group of 4 people or more, where half of them are ARRL members. That's it. So you don't have to do anything. Okay, so we want to reward those groups that are going well above just that. And that's what the Special Service Club is all about. By the way, I'll give you a heads up. The affiliated club's logo and the Special Services Club's logo are going to be redesigned.
Oh, cool.
After looking at that for some time, we decided that was not good art. And it really, when you really start to get it big sized, it doesn't do well.
Yeah, the picture is small.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who designed it originally, but they didn't really think about what could be done with it and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's gonna be redesigned. It's one of the things they're looking at. So, like I say, we got 16 here in Ohio. Now, you wanted to know, a lot of people want to know when I mentioned that we have 4 standing committees at headquarters or at the board. The administrative and finance. That pretty much tells you, it's pretty much self-explanatory what they do. Programs and services. Programs and services does the things like LOTW, for example, field day, contests, and those awards that are given out all the time. So that's what programs and services is all about. And of course, you have elections and ethics. Yes, folks, we have ethics. And as a board member, we have a fiduciary responsibility to you as the members to make sure that we spend your money correctly and so on. So we all have to sign an oath that we will do the proper things with that money. So, and that's part of Connecticut law. And yes, we have to follow by Connecticut law because that's where our home office is. So that takes pretty much what goes on up there. And then the 4th, obviously, is the EC-FSC, or what we're trying to change it to is EC and FSC. So, and field services encompasses just about everything else that wasn't covered here. Okay? We take care of all the forms on the website. We take care of all the materials that go out. We take care of not only the emergency communications and ARES, but all the training and all that goes along with it. So that's what our committee does. We are the largest and the newest committee. But I will tell you, we're probably one of the most active too, because we meet every other week and have been for the last year. So it's a very active committee, and we're working very hard to bring in all this stuff and get it changed and give back to the members, because really without you, there wouldn't be an ARRL. All right, we're almost done through this. How's that? I know at one meeting, I think it was this one, I come up, I think it was the first time I ever did a presentation for you guys. And I brought up, just for fun, just to see people's reaction. My wife and I have notebooks that are this thick back when we were, well, she was safety and that, and so she has a lot of the forms and all that, and so she had a big notebook that thick, and I had the same thing, because I did pretty much the same type of work. And I brought that up and kind of slammed it down and said, okay, now we're gonna start. And you should have seen the look on some folks' face. They just like, cool. And I said, hey, I'm okay with that. You take bathroom breaks and stuff. And of course, every couple of hours, we'll have a break. And they took me seriously. At that time, it was like, oh, my word. But no, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time up here, because I do want to have, if you guys have questions, I also want you to be able to ask those. So now I did want to tell you about an inner body within ARRL that you probably never heard from and never know that exists. And that's the executive committee. And what does the executive committee do? Well, they're pretty much like your executive committee. They meet outside of the regular board meetings. That is their job. They take care of all the business at hand outside of that. There are 5 directors that sit on that board meeting, along with the president and CEO. Okay, Dale Williams happens to be one of those 5, and he's on the executive committee as well. So we're well represented here in the Great Lakes Division. Trust me, we really are. Okay, I asked you about that, about the club commission, and you said no, but you might want to look into that, seriously. It's a great program. And then, as funny as this sounds, because I had no idea it was going to happen, I actually get put in QST. For those of you who went to Dayton, you saw the quilt that my wife had made. Well, they decided they liked it so well, they put it in QST. So it's in this month's issue of QST. So if you want to see my ugly face again, there we are. But this afternoon, they came out with the board minutes from July. 2 things that affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways came from our committee, got approved through the board, and one of them is already being enacted. The other one will soon be. And I just wanted to give you kind of a heads up. You're the first one, the first group. And the first thing I can tell you that is working right now is one of the things that we've been asked by a number of people, not only in the Great Lakes Division, but from around the country. Hey, we know there's other sections out there. We know there's other divisions, and they put out newsletters too. And we kind of like to see those. Well, with a lot of work, we had that happen. And it's actually enacted. And you don't even have to be an ARRL member to go to the site and actually view. You can pull up from any of the divisions or any of the sections that you want to view, and you can view all of their emails that they put out for, newsletters and so on, that they've put out in the last, I think it's 6 or 7 years. So if you really want to find out what's going on around the country, you just go to arrl.org/ and I'll give this to you later. How's that? section-division-email-log. So I better give it to you later.
Yeah.
So it's a long one, but I will take it. You can go up and you can pull down all of the communication that were sent out all over the divisions throughout the country. And sometimes it's really kind of fascinating to see what's going on, especially like if you want to see what effect amateur radio is having with the fires out west. There's a lot of that going on through this bulletin board that you pull up, and it really is kind of cool. The second motion that was approved unanimously, both of these were approved unanimously, by the way. When you read QST back, go through it, and you see, I don't know if you're like me, but the first page I always hit is who became Silent Keys. I know it sounds morbid, but I do that every morning too with the obituaries. That way I know whether or not I'm going to have to get out of bed. So was a joke, folks, come on.
It's
But
timing,
anyway,
it's timing, that's all, it's timing.
Yeah. With the Silent Keys, we decided that, hey, it would be a great honor, not only to honor those who have passed away that were hymns, and if you notice the little diamond beside some of the names, that indicates the life members. We're now going to start indicating those of the veterans as well. So, they gave a lot to this country and a lot to AM radio and a lot to making all of us free. So we decided to honor them in that way as well. So there'll be a little insignia beside someone's name that you may not recognize that insignia, but if you look up there in the key, you'll see it'll be he was a veteran. So,
Or she.
I'm sorry?
Or she.
Yeah, or she. You're correct. And there are a lot of ladies that are veterans. As funny as it sounds, one of them is one of my relatives. She was a WASP during World War II. I've never met her. I don't know. I don't know anything about her. We have family that lives up here that I've never met, never known. They run the Silver Creek Farm. I believe his name is Lawrence Yonley. He's part of our family, but I've never met him. Don't know who he is. It's strange how the families go on and they break apart, and you never hear about one side or another and that kind of thing. But that's the way it is. But she was, I guess, a WASP during World War II. So there you are. Okay, I've rattled on for quite some time. It's your turn. What have you got for me? Oh, come on, I haven't done that good a job. Yeah,
Comment, not a question.
sure.
So you talked about the ARRL changing the logo for special services.
Uh-huh.
ARRL, giving any thought to maybe like making it a contest, like ARRL contest.
They probably will when that time comes. We've also been told the ARES logo will probably get changed as well, but now that change won't be as dramatic. If you notice, the logo of ARRL did change. This is the new logo. It's just the color background went from no background to now a highlighted background. And the ARES logo will probably do that as well, so it'll have the correct diamond. We've paid a lot of time and a lot of money for those trademarks, and ARRL diamond is a trademark, so we want to make sure we have the right trademark for what we do. And the same way with the ARES logo, it is trademarked. So, any other questions? Yeah.
I know we sent you an email about this before. Is the league looking at the field day?
I'm glad you brought that up, because that actually was brought up at the section managers meeting. And they meet once a month on Zoom. They get all the section managers together. And that was actually brought up. And yes, they will be looking at not only the power again, but also the Class D, and make sure that that gets squared away and that type of thing. So yes, they are, and they do a regular review every quarter on all of the contests that they do. So, and that's part of their committee, and the CAC is what it's called. That's part of their duty, is to kind of get that feel from the field. So, and the comments that I think you made and a number of other folks had made to me and Dale, we transferred those on over to that committee and made sure that they knew that some folks aren't happy with, and some folks want more than 100 watts too. So I know. I was thankful, because whenever I operated field day, I got blown out of the water by the guys that have, the 5 kW amplifiers and all that. But I guess they're, when you look at it, there are some field day sites that are down in a hole, and the only operation they can do is with some power, and that does help them immensely. And so I don't know. I guess they'll weigh that, but yes. And the new rules will come out. I've been assured by Mike Ritz, one of the directors that takes care of that the new rules will come out prior to field day and not have to scramble like we have a couple of years in the past. So, does that answer what you? Okay, great. Any other questions? Oh, come on. Everybody's happy with the way things are going? All right, there you go. All right. Got a question?
No.
Oh,
No. Good job.
oh, well, thank you. Thank you all.
I have one more announcement that I forgot to talk about earlier. Yes, they were tasty. They were fuzzy like the peach and green, but they were tasty. I'm gonna be at the picnic at 12 o'clock to set up. If anybody wants to come out early and help me set up tables and move stuff, it would be greatly appreciated. I plan on getting there about 12. So I have the tables already, so we don't gotta run the tables.
So it's when it starts at 1.
Starts at 1.
But we're getting there early to set up, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, a lot of you know that I do ARNL. A friend of mine who got me into ham radio, Lou, N2CYY in Jersey. He contacted me this weekend and said, hey, I just made an FT8 contact with a 100-year-old World War II veteran. And we did the piece for him, which is coming out tomorrow morning. And on our repeater, you'll hear it Tuesday night. So please listen. It's a great story. The gentleman's name is, what is his name? Arden Nelson, and his call sign is really cool. It's Kilo Alpha 9 War. So this guy is just a plethora of goodness all over the place. But listen to the story. It's fantastic. And he embraced computers recently, and he's been making FT8 contacts everywhere. And it's hundreds, yeah.
I'll be playing this Monday night on the C part machine. But if you want to hear it Friday, you can go to the website and play it. Yeah. Are you on this time?
Yeah, actually, I'm on Tuesday night. That's my net Tuesday. That's coming
No,
Tuesday.
I mean the news line.
Yeah, no, just for that. Oh, yeah, I'm the anchor. So I'm the anchor and I'm the net for Tuesday night. Yeah, I anchored this whole episode. So yeah, cool.
Fantastic. All right.
Great. That's it. So cool.
All right, thanks, That's what they tell me. Just something to make fun of me. All right. This is the guy that license choices.
Yeah.
Running up to.
Try to make it Sunday. 1 o'clock. There's plenty to eat.